This is Steve Young today, and before we start, we're going to take a little moment of silence, and then we'll resume the show. Good. Okay, so we want to thank God for the day because you know, we're here. We made it last week. We didn't make it here last week with all the rain and everything, and some things were going on. So we took the evening off. But tonight we want to start off by saying that last week our event for the Buckets Not Bullets event at Park Avenue was postponed because of rain. We're hoping that we get a clearance from God this Saturday so that we can go ahead and have our event. They said it might have some thunderstorms, but if it doesn't rain, you guys know that we're going to be there. The event will probably start around 12 o'clock. Everyone who wants to be involved, whether it's being a vendor or just coming out and having some fun and, you know, being around some good people and have some good food and watching our children play sports.
That's right.
So that's what we're looking forward to do. And I just want to go ahead and let Mr. Strickland say a couple words before we kick this thing off.
Oh, yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Keith Strickland. You know, come on out and enjoy yourself. You know, come on out, fellowship. You know, touching and agreeing on some things and just having fun. It's all about coming together and being a community and having a good time out there. Hopefully the weather holds up and everything.
Yes,
so, yep. So
yes.
I'm looking forward to being out there and you know, seeing everybody and fellowshipping with you. Right. So come on out and have some fun.
Yes, let's come on out and get this thing done this Saturday. I'm telling you, our last three that I've done at Woodland Avenue was such a great success, man. You know,
Good.
I sit there sometimes and I was you know, I didn't believe that the crowd came out the way they did.
Okay.
But, you know, it's for a good purpose. It's just for our children and for our community to come together and do something different. So,
Good.
We're looking forward to this event because we've expanded it to include medical, you know, things that are going on with people. We're going to have Atlantic Care and Jefferson Medical there to do, you know, different things like that. We have Project Justice that's going to be there.
Beautiful.
That's going to show you about expungements and things of that nature and set you up for the next expungement event that we do at Mount Zion. So, you know, we have a lot of things going on, and I just look forward to seeing how this thing grows, you know.
Good. Hopefully, you know, we can just do it, you know, like, I don't know, every 6 weeks or whatever and take it inside or whatever, man, you know.
Yes.
Yep.
And the thing of it is, it's so funny because the last 3 times that I did it, you know, I was a councilman.
Okay.
So I had some very good people around me.
Good.
You know, that basically were doing all of the, you know, the paperwork stuff.
Right.
You know, I was out raising the money and making sure the basketball stuff was done and making sure people were there. But, you know, it's really different when you have to put everything together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was such a blessing when I got together and Siobhan came and Ernestine Smith, you know. My wife is always there right next to me.
But, that's good to have them behind you, man.
Yes.
That's some good people, man. Really good people,
So
man.
here you are here now, and you know, Steve Young, as soon as he gets here. You know, but to have certain people around you, you realize, you know, it takes a group, you know, a group of good people to get some things done sometime.
Right.
You know, you can't do it all on your own.
Good. You know, I'm just blessed to be here with you, Tone. I appreciate you. I remember when I first came down here, you know, and, you know, you by being a, you know, all-American, all-basketball player, and me being an all-basketball player from Camden.
Yes.
You know, and then I remember the day that I met you, your nephew was doing an event.
Yes.
At what was that at the high school?
At the high school, yep.
Mr. Townsend had opened up the gym.
Yes.
And, you know, we was there and everything, and y'all like, well, what this guy doing here? Who is this guy? You know, and this, you know, basketball, men's stuff, you know what I mean? And y'all found out who I was, I found out who y'all was, and, you know, we went from there. And, you know, this, you know, good things just been going on and happening since then. So, you know, love you, Pleasantville community, Atlantic City community, Galloway community. So just come on out, enjoy yourself, and bring your kids. You know, we all about the kids. We all about giving back to the kids. And, you know, I remember when I was growing up, the older folks always talked to us. And, you know, I think that, you know, the kids is getting robbed right now by us not giving back to them. So we're going to open up.
You feel the same way I feel.
Yeah,
like
we're going to open up.
Yep.
Let's open up and start talking with these young men, and so they can put these phones down and this game down, this game noise.
You know what? Keith is showing them the proper way to do
That's
things.
right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know, it was one thing when we grew up. It was a matter of respect.
That's right.
You know, and it didn't matter who it was, who the adult was.
Right.
It was a matter of respect.
That's right.
Like even if we were together and we're out there doing our thing and joking with each other and cussing, whatever we're doing.
That's right. That's
when
right.
you see all an adult, you put that away.
That's right. You sure
you
do.
know, and
That's right.
What was just saying an example of that. I was over at Park Avenue. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I went over to check out the court because it was vandalized.
Okay.
And we're going to get into that also. And it was about 5 young, you know, gentlemen out there.
Right.
And I'm out there walking the court, and just to listen to the volume of profanity
Yep,
that they were using. You know what I mean? And I'm there, and they can see me, and it's like, wow, you guys don't have any respect. You
That's
know
right.
what I mean?
That's
and,
right.
You know, it's not a good thing to see our youth that don't care when there's an adult around.
Yes.
You can continue to use that language and be vulgar.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know, and I know we did it when we were young, but we knew when to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
we
right.
knew when to do it, man. And nowadays, it's just not the same. Bro.
It's not, man.
It's not.
You know, I'm a recovery coach, and you know, I work at John Brooks under Atlantic Care, and you know, it's something to see, man.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes.
You know, even some of these grown folks, you got to be like, excuse me, you know, watch your profanity, watch your mouth and all, you know. So, but I'm looking forward to us to going in and giving back.
Yes.
You know, like we got. You know, like you said, that one word that Aretha Franklin, that respect. You know, when you see somebody coming around, you know, even when you don't see nobody coming around, you know, it's all about how you talk to people, what you think about yourself, you know, and everything. So, you know, we got to get in there, man.
And you know what's funny is, like you said, is how you think about yourself, right?
That's right. That's
because I've done things in my past, you know what I mean? And,
vice versa.
Yeah, right. And through the grace of God, you know, here I am.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So it's amazing when I'm over in Atlantic City, you know, in the mornings, and I'm driving this bus, and I look over, and I see people sleeping on the streets, and you see them nodding, you know, all this dope, afflicted, you know, stuff that's going on, man.
That's right.
And the thing of it is that they're pouring that into our community. You know what I'm saying? They're pouring it into our community.
Yes, it is.
And it's, you know, you go into, and again, I know I've said it before, but you go into Ventnor, Margate, and law enforcement.
You don't see that.
City, you don't see it.
That's right.
You know, they ship it out and over here.
That's right.
So what I'm trying to figure out is, if they can get rid of it,
how can we get rid of it? Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What are we missing?
What we missing? Yeah.
Is it us as a community that's not doing something right? Is our police department not policing properly? You know, what is it that causes that we can have people on the Black Horse Pike and New Road out there begging for money right in the middle of the street?
That's right.
Something you don't see in other communities.
Wow.
Like, how is that okay when it comes to us? You know, why are our standards lower? You know what I mean? It's a hurtful thing.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. So, you know, I'm not really from down this area, but I've been down here for 30 years, you know. And
so you've seen the change.
And I just want to say, you know, yesterday was my 26-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I want to thank you.
To you, man.
And, you know, I hope if she's listening, you know, I want to say happy birthday to you, Thinker. You know, and I think it was our anniversary yesterday. We got 26 years, and you know, and you know, it's hard to find sometimes nowadays, you know, a man of God, a husband, father, you know, and doing the right thing, man. You know, did the wrong thing. You know, I'm from Camden, and as you're saying, you know, I'm from Camden, right? And you know, you see all this stuff. You know what I mean? People coming from everywhere else. Woodland, Collinswood, Cherry Hill,
right in there.
And then you know, You know, it's right in Camden, but I can't go to Cherry Hill. I can't go to Woodland, and I can't sit on the corners begging for money because I better not even think about that. You hear what I'm saying to you? But it's just crazy, though, man. It's just ludicrous, bro. So we really do have to figure it out, man.
Yes, we do.
We got to keep praying and keep stay on our knees, man, and you know, just, you know, find a solution there. You know, like, this is not good.
Nope.
This is not the way. This is not the life, young fellas. You know what I mean? Jail is that's the way. That's where you're going at.
Yes, that's right. Either that
that's
or the
where
grave.
you're going.
One
Either that, one or the other. Ain't no getting away from that.
And it's amazing you say, you know, we got to pray. And God says prayer without actions is...
Prayer without action, you know, it's what we can say is, you know, so this is the scripture I usually read, you know, be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourself. You know what I mean? You got to be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourself.
So that's what you're basically
that's
saying.
That's what I'm basically saying.
Action, man.
Action means a lot.
You know? Yep. And it's so funny because when you even see, you know, a lot of these big churches and, you know, they're stuck inside those four walls.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And in order to do God's work, you got to get
outside there.
You got to step up out of there, man.
And that's what we do. And you know, as you know, I'm a recovery coach, man. And we outside. We outside. We doing outreach. You know what I mean? We feeding. We clothing. I want to thank God for Angels in Motions, All Roads, all the organizations that's coming together to help the community. You know, thank you for Atlantic Care coming over. You know, John Brooks was sinking, and they came in and, you know, rescued them. You know what I mean? I think we was looking at it, and they came out with the nation's top recovery centers, and you know, John Brooks, Atlantic Care was #2 in the nation. You know, so I just want to thank you know, the work of the doctors and everything. You know,
what's so funny is that I listen to you, and it gives me a different appreciation of the work that you guys do, because I'm going to say honestly, you know, as a man of this community, someone who grew up and was raised here, you know, when that first came into that area, it didn't, you know, didn't sit right with me. No, it didn't sit right. You know what I mean?
Everybody was fighting it,
and
man.
they dumped it here.
They dumped it
here. It's just like they wanted to put the dump on Washington Avenue. You know what I'm saying? All the things that go on. Like, it's always, our black community is always a dumping ground. Either that, or you got people coming in and opening up stores and taking over. They don't live here. They don't get back.
I don't understand that, man. I don't understand how that happened, man. I can't go to China and open up a store. I can't go to Puerto Rico and open up a store. Nowhere in the world, but
our community is the one that always gets it, man. You know what I mean? And I think it comes at the risk, at the cause of us not sticking together. You know what I mean? And I say that, and it's time that we dealt with the problem. The problem
coming
is
together.
us. It's us not coming together, man.
You know, divided, man. They say, you know, if they can get in and divide us, man. You know, they say, you know what it is, divide and conquer. You know, house and field. You know, but you know, this, you know, we just, you know, just gotta stick together, man. And you know, I want to appreciate it because we're getting better. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing. As we get better, you know, then we can help people get better. You know, because like people don't see honesty, integrity. Like I said, a man, a God, a husband, a father, a pop. You know, all them things, man. You know what I mean? That's things that, you know, people don't know that it means a lot.
You know what? When you just said that last one, pop, you're talking about something that gets me every time I hear it.
Me too. Because I'm one.
And it's amazing because, you know, I can remember me and my wife first met. You know, who would have thought that here, I'm a grandfather now of 10.
Congratulations.
Of 10, bro.
Congratulations,
you know what I mean?
Man.
So they hear pop. It's like, sometimes I go look in the mirror like, man, is this real? You know, never thought about getting this age.
That's
you know?
right. Hey, time moving, man. You know, it says time waits for no one. Generations come and generations go. Man. You know,
Yes,
and
that's
time
part of
is
that's part of
moving.
the cycle.
It's part of the cycle,
Part
man.
of the cycle.
You hear me? Yes, it is.
Just saying, you know, the way life works. Just the other day, I'm walking to work, and I work right up the street, so I can walk right to work. It's perfect for me.
Right.
And there's a cat that was dead right on the street, right? So I'm calling the guy at Public Works, and he's like, Tone, I'll be there to get it, you know, this and that. So he came, and it was gone, right?
Wow.
So when I came back out the next day, I realized these turkey buzzards had taken it and moved it, and they were feeding on it. So there you go. It's a circle of life,
That's
man.
right.
You know, that's
That's
here.
right.
You're here for a minute, and you're gone. You
That's
know,
right. That's right.
You know, and it's what you give or what you do for society that really counts.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because
That's right.
you know, like you said, you look at that animal, it served its purpose, and now here something's feeding off it.
Right.
But you know, as men and as you know, people, like, what have you done to serve? You know, your fellow man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's a good thing, man. I tell you, when I was able to do Woodland Avenue, you know, that was where I grew up at. That was where, when we talk about being respectful and learning from the adults that were out there playing, that was showing us, you know. And the thing of it is that we had adult leagues and things back then. So, you know, we didn't realize the importance of it because, you know, we were just living through the moment at the time. But you fast forward, and you don't see it there, and you see those leagues that were started in Pleasantville and Atlantic City, moved to Ocean City and Margate, and you know, now we're over there. Their kids are learning from our people, and if you do the wrong thing, you pulled over and get a ticket. And, this
and you know, by you saying that, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not from here, but I seen that cycle. You know, when I first came here. You know, and you know, I even had a basketball camp and all that when I came here, and I was bringing people in from all over because, you know, I played, you know, professional ball in Europe. I got cut from Denver and Portland. But I wound up going to Europe for 20 years, you know, which was a awesome thing.
That's a good experience, Strick.
Yo, listen, you know, listen, man, like I knew that, you know, only way to get up out of Camden was to, you know, and no disrespect, you know, to play ball, to be the best that I can be. You know, my mom and them wasn't rich enough that I was going to get a scholarship or she wasn't going to play, you know. And I was just telling my wife, I think, well, who was that? I was just talking to my wife. I was thinking I was talking to my brother Smooth. I was like, man, let me tell you something. I still feel the concrete. You know, these guys don't know how good they got it, man. We stayed on the concrete, you know what I mean? They playing on wood and all that. We outside 24 hours a day.
And how many injuries did you have?
I still got them, man.
Right? But
they still coming. Yeah, they played through them. That's right. That's right. Yep.
Hello. You have a caller there? Caller, are you there? They hung up. Yeah, but you know, since we're hopefully calls back, whoever it is, you know, please call back. But you know, we were supposed to have our event last Saturday.
Right.
And you know, it was something that happened in the city of Pleasantville, and I want to address it because, you know, it's something that really put, you know, the people in our community at danger. I thought. We had a young man, and hopefully they're listening. They want to call in. You know, because I called to try to get him on the show today. But you know, it was in reference to ICE, and the thing of it is that, you know, what's going on with ICE right now. If you're a human being, there's no way that you're okay with that. You know, you don't want to see that. I don't care whether it's a Hispanic community, Haitian community, black community, white, whatever. You know, when you saw them kill that young white man up there, you know, shoot him in the head 3 times and the man's on the ground. You know, they shot the woman in the face. Like, the stuff that they're doing is just outrageous, you know. So with that behavior, they have no place in our community. You understand what I'm saying? That's right. But when they're here, there's a certain way we as a community have to do things, right? Am I correct?
That's right.
You know, so you have to protest them. You have to speak out on it, and this is my way of speaking out on it because I don't agree with it, right? But when I watched a young man follow them through Pleasantville, doing U-turns in the middle of the Black Horse Pike, speeding up and down our street, chasing ICE, cussing and, you know, yelling and behaving in a manner that just didn't make sense. And the thing of it is that you've seen how these people react. You know, that could have been you that was shot dead. You know, and you know, it went on for about a half an hour. He filmed everything, right? So when I saw this, because me and Mr. Young had just spoken on an incident that happened a couple weeks ago with a young black man got pulled over.
That's right.
And, you know, when he got out and asked the police officer for, you know, his badge number and his name, the guy grabbed his gun. You know what I mean? So where I'm going with this is that this same young gentleman that I told you was following ICE all around the city, the cops saw him, pulled him over because they saw what he was doing. And he got out and was very, very disrespectful to the police, you know, saying this and that. I mean, very aggressive, and they never gave him a ticket, you know. So I just don't understand. And I wrote a response that was on the website that they had the video on. Was you know, I'm not in favor of ICE, but there's a certain way you have to do things.
That's
and when
right.
you're putting my community in danger,
That's right.
you know, we got children walking the street, we got older people that's walking the street, and you're doing U-turns and you're flying up and down, you're passing cars.
Too.
Yeah, you know, loudspeaker, you're cussing, using profanity, the whole bit. I mean, it comes a point to where, you know, I look at our police department, and if you're going to hold one person to a certain standard, you got to hold us all to that standard.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's right.
And it's up to them to do their job properly.
That's
you
right.
know.
That's right.
So you know, I was hoping to have someone here that could, you know, speak back and forth about the situation. But
right.
you know, it's something that we have to get better at, you know, as a community.
That's right.
We got to make sure that everyone is treated properly, you know what I mean, or held to that same standard.
Yes,
and like I said, when I saw that young gentleman go through that and the cop grabbed his gun, and then I see this guy, you know, do this, like, for a whole half an hour, like, how do you speed through Pleasantville for half an hour and not get pulled over? Like, doesn't make sense, you know? Doesn't make sense. So, you know, it was an issue that I felt needed to be talked about. You know, it needs to be talked about because, you know, we have to look out for the least of us.
That's right.
And you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And, you know, just because you're out here, you know, making a name for yourself, it's a certain way you have to make that name.
Certain
you know?
standards. That's
exactly.
Right. That's right.
And I'm allowed to speak up for not only the black community, but the Hispanic community, which I have stood up and stood shoulder to shoulder with.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who you are, what nationality you are.
That's right.
It's whether you're right or wrong.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. That's what
All right.
matters,
So
man.
right. So you know, it was just crazy because Thursday, I don't know what happened, but I guess it happened Thursday night. Friday morning, I got a call from our Public Works Department and our Recreation Department, and someone had vandalized the Park Avenue courts.
Wow.
You know, which was something that we as a community have to understand. You might have a problem with whoever,
Right.
but don't go down and destroy your own stuff.
That's your own
You know what I'm saying? Right? Don't destroy your own stuff, man. And
you know, that's you know, and not cutting you off, you know, like even from the time, right? It seemed like for some reason we always do that.
Yes.
You know, you know why?
Pull the mic close to you.
No disrespect, right? We always do that, man. You know, things happen in our community and we destroy our community. That's what happened in Camden.
Yes.
You know, something happened.
Los Angeles.
A police happened, and then we tear up Camden and make it look like nothing.
And then you don't have no place to go.
You ain't, no place to shop.
That's what I'm saying.
No place to shop. No, you know, you got to go somewhere else to get food and all that. So I don't understand that. Go somewhere else and do that.
There you
go tear their place up. Why you want to tear our
place
up?
How that goes.
See how that is.
See
I
how
don't
far
understand how that goes. Yeah, exactly. It ain't gonna go nowhere. You know, but thank you for just talking about it, man. And you know, it really takes a stand-up person to really address those issues. You know, real talk. And thank you for that, man.
Thank you, bro, for appreciating it, because the thing of it is that it's not just me. You know, this is about our whole community.
Yes.
Like, you know,
Take a village, man.
And I have all nationalities of people that I'm dealing with.
That's right.
And I love them all.
That's right.
There he is.
That's right.
Right? Love them all, man.
You know,
but,
that's
you know,
right.
To see that go on in Pleasantville, like, listen, man, I'm from here.
That's right.
You know, I'm part of this here. My name is synonymous with Pleasantville and different things.
That's right.
And I would not disrespect the community like that.
That's right.
So I don't want to see anyone else that comes in here and feels like they're owed something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody's owed anything, man. If anything, I feel I'm owed. You know what I mean? Those older people that were here before me are owed.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Don't
right.
think that you can come in here and think that someone owes
you
you
something. That's
you
right.
know, what you owe is a respect to the community
That's
as
right.
a whole.
That's
and
right.
that's what we have to do, is respect each other.
That's
you know,
right.
and there's so many things that are going on, and then you have people that are sitting in these seats that aren't speaking up on it. You know what I mean? They want to be quiet because they want to solidify their voting.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Listen, man, it's one thing that I've never done when I was a sitting councilman, when I was running from council,
I know you talked
I never
up.
bit my tongue.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I never, man.
That's
especially if it was the right thing. No,
That's right.
I can't do that. You know, I can't do that as a man.
That's right.
You know, I got to go home and lay my head next to this here lady that's sitting
right.
out there in
That's
that
right.
room, and she ain't having it.
You know, I wanna, you know, and it's just on my spirit, man. You know, when I first came down here, man, the first person I met was Mr. Townsend.
Mr. Townsend.
And, you know, I just want to give him a shout out, man, because, you know, he really, like, opened up the doors for me. You know, he wasn't ashamed to open up the doors. I gave him my blueprint. He knew me, you know, and I tell you, man, you know, you're talking about a man with integrity, you know, his family and everything. I just want to thank you. And, you know, it's so crazy because he ain't even here now. I don't even want to get into all that, but
well, you know what?
You know he's somewhere else taking all that knowledge and and love and and intelligent. You know what I mean? Somewhere else, and that's
Well, you know what? You know what's a shame is that it seemed like a lot of our strong men have been pushed up out of this community, especially those that have, you know, the resources and the education to make things better.
Right.
You know, we have strength and everything, but if we don't stick together and understand is that our young males, even our young females, need to see a strong black man somewhere. You know what I mean? And when you look at all the entities in Pleasantville, it's all female.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love them to death.
That's
but
right.
we have to understand is that a man needs to be present.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's an order, though. You know, when, you know, it's an order. I ain't gonna say the order, but y'all know the order. You know the order. You hear me? And then when there ain't no order, it's out of order.
And that's what it is. What's up, big fella?
You hear me?
Yes.
When it ain't no order, it's out of order.
Right now, it's out of order.
You hear me? And you know, that's no
order.
disrespect. I know my sisters had to step up, you know, because, you know, the brothers been going left, you know. But you got some brothers that's doing right, too.
Yes.
So, you know, it's an order.
Yes,
you
it
know
is,
what I mean?
man.
Like, stay in order.
Yes, and we have to address that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that sometimes we're so scared to address things just because it makes certain people uncomfortable.
Right.
If it's the right thing, then you know what?
It's the right
Put
thing.
your big boy pants on and girl pants on and deal with it. You know, let's see how we can make things better.
Yeah, well, we got a saying, Mr. Davenport. If you do the right thing, you get the right thing. If you do the wrong thing, you get the wrong thing. It's as simple as that. You hear me? And listen, you can't do right and get wrong, and you can't do wrong and get right.
That's right.
This doesn't work that way.
Nope.
No ifs,
and what they
no
say,
ands,
doing the
no
same
buts.
thing and expecting a different outcome is insanity.
Ludicrous.
It's insane. And that's what we're doing. We're spinning our wheels, man.
Same thing.
You know what's so
over
funny?
and
It's just
over.
like we sat here, and our first two shows, I had Miss Felicia Hyman on here.
Okay.
And it's one thing I fought for was her being the superintendent.
Okay.
Why? Because she grew up here.
That's right.
She was raised here. She went through this system. And I was tired of seeing people come in and these politicians getting people, you know, because they can promise them something and giving them these jobs and not doing it for what's in the best interest of our children and our community.
Or the community.
And that's what was going on. So to see her finally get that, it's like finally someone from here get a chance to help. You know what I'm saying? Someone from here, you know? And the thing of it is that you might not agree with everything that she's going to do or that she's done, but give her a chance.
Right.
You know, give her a chance.
That's right.
Like I said, we failed enough already by bringing these people in from outside of the community. We needed that.
That's
you
right.
know, it was necessary.
Well, you know, you just saying that, you know, and like, you know, I'm from Camden, man, and the same thing happening over there. They bringing people, they bringing people. Listen, man, you got some of the top basketball players, you know, went to the pros, and you bringing people from Philly, from there, and from there, and I'm just saying, like, how you got this guy coaching from Vineland, and you know, you got Billy Coverson, Kevin Walls, you got Charles Payton.
They never won and share it with the locals.
You know, like, why are you doing that? You know, I'm just saying, why are you doing that? You know what I mean?
With the locals.
Yes.
And it's just
jealousy.
But you know, like
It's
if you grew up there, man, you know, like if you go anywhere else, and you know, like I've been to Detroit, Chicago, I've been around L.A. You know, their local people stay there and do things. You know what I mean? And even New York
like
as well.
Rockland Park, they got legends there that we still never heard of.
That's right.
But it's
That's
a
right.
legend in their neighborhood.
Well, I want to say this here. We talk about those places,
Right.
but it's one thing that I've always accredited, and I love Atlantic City for. It's because they look out for their own.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. Atlantic City looks out for
They
their
say they
own,
look
and
out
I'm
for
proud of them for doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, they do, man. Yes, they do. And what gets me is that I've watched Atlantic City people come over here and get major jobs here in Pleasantville, and that, you know, got me like, you know,
right.
why? We don't have no one here that can handle that. Like, you understand? So that's a problem with us as a people.
Yeah.
As a people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's
not
true.
sticking together and doing
We're supposed to do.
what we're supposed to do.
But we never did,
and,
man.
and you can't be apologetic about it, man.
Nope, you
it's
can't.
not wrong with it because everyone does it.
That's right. Yep.
Everyone does it.
That's right. That's
Except
right.
for us.
Except for us.
Except
Well, you
for
know,
us.
it's from a long time ago, man. And that long time ago, and I'm gonna say it, it's in the spirit, man. You hear me? It's in the spirit. It ain't in the flesh. It's in the
Yes.
spirit.
Yes.
It then went from there, and it went on down.
Embedded.
You hear me? Embedded.
Embedded,
It's
man.
like you see, indoctrination. You know what I mean? Like that's the way it is, man.
I think that might be
know.
our next tournament.
Because it's like,
We gotta get that out of here, though. That's why we gotta stay on our knees and do what we do.
All right, hold on. We're going to give my brother here, introduce yourself, man. Something to say. He's been itching. I seen him over there. He's squirming in the seat.
I wasn't so much squirming. I'm just taking notes to make sure, you know, that I hear what everyone's saying, hear how they're saying it.
That's right.
One thing I want to comment on, just one thing, not to disagree with anyone, but to say that in a society such as ours, in which black people have built this country, but have been also built by our blood and sweat, it's the systems that are at work to make our country work are created with the fact that everyone else in our country also disagrees. Everyone else in our country also has problems, but the system doesn't work against them in the same way. So, for example, if you have, let's say we have two Latino Americans who are arguing with each other but want to keep it private, they can switch their language, and we won't know what's going on at all.
That's right.
Let's say we have two Chinese Americans or Japanese or any culture, they can switch their language, right? And then also, if you are Caucasian and you are arguing, guess what? Then you're just an exception to the rule. They don't see it as, oh, these guys can't get along. So the thing is, when it comes to African Americans, we do not have a separate language to communicate in, and any language we do create is often viewed as, instead of seeing it as a language, they call it slang, right?
Yes.
So if I switch to saying nah instead of no, then I'm not speaking English correctly.
Exactly.
But no, it's African American vernacular English or Ebonics is perfectly valid as a language, but it's treated like it's not. So every part of our culture that we do is stigmatized in a different way.
Or stolen.
Or stolen.
Yeah,
Yep.
Honestly, both.
both.
Stolen.
Both.
First they steal it, and then they put a bad stigma on it afterwards.
It's stigmatized
so
until
you're not the creator anymore.
Exactly.
It's stigmatized.
Well, you might be the creator,
glad
but you're
he
not,
said it, 'cause I was mentioning the same moment.
you're not the beneficiary of
Yeah,
it.
pretty much. Because
Right,
you look
right.
if you look at every popular form of music, it's stigmatized until it's stolen.
Right.
You look at Elvis. You look at
Yes.
pretty much every genre.
Everybody. Everything.
Right. Because like now I'm watching
Not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
The blues was
Right.
first.
Right now I'm watching. Right now I see. Right now I see.
That's crazy.
Right now I see that.
The Little Richard.
Little
Yeah.
Richard.
We gotta get
Yeah,
into the
like
Rock
right
and
now I
Roll
see
Hall
that
of
like
Fame.
K-pop is popular with the kids, but you go and watch any K-pop video and you're gonna see either Michael Jackson moves or them ripping stuff from Destiny's Child. So when it comes down to it, it's not our culture, it's these systems, right? And we're not allowed to build our own systems. Our systems are destroyed, and we try to build a separate system.
See, that's the problem. We're not allowed to build our own system.
And that's the thing.
problem.
Because again, if you have,
that's the
for
problem.
example, I'm going to give you a name of two Caucasian people who at one point can be seen as best friends in some photos, and at other point we'll see at worst enemies. Donald J. Trump
Right.
Hillary Clinton. You have plenty of photos of them being besties and have plenty of photos of them being enemies.
That's right.
But they don't make it about, oh, these white people can't get along, right?
Yes.
Meanwhile, if you have an issue amongst blacks, we're like, oh, yeah, we can't get along. We can't. No, nobody can get along. The difference is the system meant to benefit from you guys not getting along?
That's what I was
So
getting ready
our
to say.
system, so when African Americans can't get along and we're arguing about who's going to get a property, guess who gets it? The bank.
The thing,
And we
listen
own the
to this
bank.
here, though.
That's
We
right.
don't.
Listen
That's
to
right.
this.
Yeah.
They can afford to do that. We can't.
You can't.
And why
You
can't?
understand?
And why can't we?
We can't because we're not in a position to do that and get away with it or to benefit
Precisely.
from it. With them, they can disagree and benefit.
Which then becomes, how do we pay attention to the fact that the system's turning us against ourselves,
Exactly.
right?
There you go. What
So
did you
it's
say?
not so
And
much.
remember, the system
What did you say
wasn't built
earlier?
for us.
Hey,
Yeah.
no, that's what I was waiting for,
I know,
because
you hear
at
what
the
I'm
end of
saying?
the day, it's like
That's what I said. It was
the
built
whole
to-
system wasn't built
Built
for
for
you
us.
anyway.
Anyway.
Exactly.
So we
It's-
arguing the wrong argument.
Yeah.
It's built to benefit from us, right?
Right.
So every
Yeah,
even if you
they've
look-
been
even if you-
That's the
benefiting from us.
foundation
That's what I'm
of the
saying.
system.
That's exactly.
We
So
are the
That's
foundation.
We're all saying the same
Third
thing.
time.
We
Now
the
let's look at-
foundation
Now let's
of
look
the
at the other
system.
part, right? Let's look at
That's why it's both.
let's look at when
And
we're property
it's
owners.
all of
When we're
it.
property owners, we take good care of our properties. When a bank is a property owner, it will let the property go. It will go bad.
Right.
And so then, if you look at our neighborhoods, you're like, oh, why are all these neighborhoods looking so bad? It's not because we can't take care of our homes. It's because so many of the homes are owned by the banks, and they're not interested in fixing the properties until we leave.
That's right.
Because I don't know about you, but I have never met a
So
black
what is
property.
that called? What is that
Oh,
called?
gentrification.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel like you said the thing. I didn't feel like if I can just say the definition, I don't need to say the word.
There you go.
So ultimately, I always like to look more at the systems, because you can argue with a person all day, right?
Right,
We could all argue for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Some of us for the next 50, right?
That's right.
And so the thing is, guess what? Those systems aren't going to change
Still
when
gonna
we
be
leave.
there.
But you know what? This is
still
what I'm
gonna be
saying,
there.
and this is why
That's
we're
why I ain't
speaking.
saying nothing.
This is why we're speaking on. This is why we're speaking on the issue right now. Is because the only way we can change the system is by sticking together.
Yeah.
We cannot do it divided.
Nope.
So that is the part that we're trying to understand. I'm trying to make sure we understand is that
Got
we
to.
know what the system is. I mean, you're a fool to
We
ever
know the
think that the
system.
system was built for us.
Nope,
it's
it
not.
wasn't,
You
man.
know, it's just not. That's just
where
not
the
it is.
argument
And see,
divides you.
yes, that's
You
where I
got
have.
two people saying they're entitled
Yes.
to a system that ain't for them.
Yes.
Period.
You-
Yes.
Hey, listen,
And see,
I
and
was
that's
in
the-
when I was in
What
London.
are we arguing about?
So I was in London, right? And I haven't really, I start
Were you around Piccadilly
learning.
Square?
No, I was in Piccadilly. I was in, all around there.
Yes.
And then, I was home one day, and then I seen this movie, something that I wouldn't watch when I was in Canada. Idi Amin, right? And a lot of people don't know about Idi Amin and all. But this guy, man, he was a maniac.
The Idris Elba thing?
No, he was a maniac.
Don't
He
say
used to
he was
eat.
an actor. Idris Elba?
Yeah, but he, Idi Amin was an African. He was an African king, and but he always, at the end of the day, this is what I wanted to say. He said, "I'm going to get you British and Americans one day." That's all I'm gonna say. That's what he.
Because
that was his whole thing.
that's who's controlling everything.
That was
man.
his whole thing.
Yep.
One day y'all gonna get it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Well, if there's a God, something's going to happen.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I think we all believe in that. You know what I mean?
Yes, we are. Yes,
I also
we do.
think.
So, go
And
ahead.
that's my last thing, because I don't want to show too much.
Yeah.
I also think that in addition to understanding how the systems work and how they work, how they both work against us, and how to use what we can to work in it, there's also understanding that some people have to work outside the system.
Yes.
And if they're not giving you a seat at the table, you build a better table. So at the same time, what we see, even when you go back to the Black Panther movement, right? You saw that they were feeding their community, and they were doing so well that it had to be taken up. They had to take it apart. They had to take it apart, disassemble it, and then guess
Yes.
what? Then the government starts doing it.
Yes.
But just because the government starts doing it doesn't mean we
Yes.
should stop.
Yes.
So we continue feeding our community. We continue building our houses.
But you
And
know
I'll,
what was said
pass
by
on.
Edgar Hoover and
Good stuff,
all-
man.
a few of the presidents back then was that we can never let the black community come together.
That's right.
And that was one of the things that they feared. They
Yeah.
feared.
Yeah, well, it's because it's
Well, man, it's about time you got here.
it's power in numbers, though. That's one thing I know that
Yes.
when when blacks and Hispanics get together, man, you know, people get kind of scared about that, you know.
Yes.
They know it's power.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
just strength, but it's power.
And it's not just talk.
I got to keep them away from each other, you know. So that's,
You know, it's so listen to this here. It's so funny. It's so funny because when I was in college, right?
We know this time.
I went to this college and I walked into my room and there was an African guy there, right? So my roommate was African. So I'm asking him questions because, you know, I'm young, I'm curious now. This is somebody from, you know, our land, right? And he was so brainwashed. He was told, you know, certain things. He believed certain things. I'm not going to get into it. But, you know, it wasn't like we were good. It was like we weren't good, and, you know, the other ones, that was who was good, the ones who sent him here. You don't realize they sent him here for a reason, and they told him certain things for a reason.
That's right.
But, you know, there are a lot of people. I was getting ready to say, a lot of people that come here, that was the first thing that they're told is that we're bad.
I
just said African.
I was saying we didn't even have a choice in what we was doing in America.
Go ahead, Julia.
Can I give an example?
Yes, you can give a few of them.
About 50 years ago, there was a culture developed by the black and Puerto Rican community in New York called hip hop.
That's right.
And you see how powerful it is.
That's right.
Yes.
When you get us together, what we can do.
Yes.
Whether people like it or not, it's part of our culture.
Yes.
That's right.
And it came out of something we did together.
And it's one and the same.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we all from the same blood, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you see what can happen
Yep.
if everybody works together.
And it's funny, Julio, that you say that
Something
because
that came out of a park, man.
Yep.
That's right.
Steve is here now.
What was the thing?
And
it was to separate us. That's the only way they got in the middle was to make Puerto Ricans and blacks beef, or say, only certain people could be in there. So that's how they got in, and that's how they get everyone. They make you argue about nothing.
Infiltrate.
Yeah.
And all of that is still on today, you know.
Yes, you're right.
Steve Young, and I just got here a
And
little
now
late.
who makes the most money off of
Get
something?
things together for the bus tomorrow.
Yes, got it. Go ahead. Speak on that.
Okay, yeah, I was getting things together. That's why we're late. You know, going and shopping for the bus tomorrow. You know, you got a 3-hour trip to Washington, D.C. You got to have some munchies on the bus.
That's right. That's right.
You know, our people, you know what I mean?
You better have
that's what those Chicken Bone Beach was all about at one time. You know what I mean? It had the brown bag with the chicken in it and just left on the beach. But I just want to say, Dr. Martin Luther King, 63 years of us being together and going to Washington. When they say we don't stick together, this is an example of this, and we're going to be part of that tomorrow. And then young people that never been, and elders that never been before. It's the 63rd anniversary since Dr. Martin Luther King said, "I had a dream."
Yes.
So 63 years, just think about that. They say we don't stay together. How do we stay together for 63 years and counting?
Right.
And we were just talking about the history in our culture. Well, this is how you bring about our culture. Keep it alive.
That's right.
Keep the legacy moving.
That's right. Keep
You know
it
what I
alive.
mean?
Keep
So it won't just be, you know, just in vain.
Yes.
About Luther
Yes.
King's his blood and Malcolm's blood just in vain. No, it's not in vain because it still pumps through us.
Yes. Yes.
So, you know, we want everybody to get on that bus tomorrow. We still have a few seats left. And we leave
Well, I
at
got to
4:30 in the
do
morning.
all the shopping and stuff to make sure things are ready for Saturday. So I got to get out of here. Me and Mr. Sanchez over here, he's going to be busy tomorrow. You don't know it, but he's going to be busy. But so just want to let you know, because we got Julio here now, and I went over the situation with the gentleman that was running. Got you. That was running through Pleasantville, you know, speeding and, you know, putting the community at danger. And then we go down to Park Avenue and someone vandalized the courts, you know what I'm saying? So the thing of it is that we as Black and Hispanic community, because that's what we are right now, you know, we have to understand is that we have to take care of what's ours, you know what I mean?
That's
because what's put there for our children is what's put there for them. And they all utilize it, you know what I mean? It's just not one group of people that utilize it. And, you know, it was just an ugly situation when I went down there and looked at it, you know. Who wants to go down there and see that? But, You know, it
and
takes
the timer was definitely wasn't right.
No.
And whoever responsible for that, we need to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Face to face, man to man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Who put you up to that?
Because we have to. No, that shouldn't happen again.
exactly.
And in order for it not to happen again, we got to bring you out
Yes.
and ask you why.
Yes.
Maybe something's wrong with you.
Yes.
You know, something's wrong with you if you're doing something like that.
Yes.
Or if you want some spotlight and be seen,
Come down here and talk.
You want some attention?
Yes.
Yeah.
or go on social media and do it.
Or if you disagree with something that was said, that's not the way to voice your
No, it's
opinion.
not.
You know what I mean?
No, it's
because my thing is this here is that I've known this here brother here for years. He's like a brother to me. You know what I mean? And he knows there is no separation in how I treat anybody. Am I correct? I mean, it's about you as a person.
That's right.
And that's how it's supposed to be. You know, it's how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't. Our community shouldn't be separated over an issue that is basically affecting us all.
Right.
Because when ICE is around, you know, any one of us can get, you know,
if, ands, or
mistreated or killed or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why, you know, we've been gotten beyond civil rights. It's human rights.
Human rights.
You know what I mean?
right.
It's our human rights that are about. That means
stuff.
we can feel how it affects all of us.
That's right.
Because you're a human being.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right, Mr.
And
Steve.
that's very key. You know what I mean? Because civil was just talking about you being in America.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
But human rights mean you world known.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And then you feel it all the way in South Africa. You know what I mean?
Yes.
London, Portuguese.
Yeah.
So it's being a human being. You know?
Yes.
So you know we got to get back to that, and you know that's why things when it goes to the World Court. You know we got United Nations here in New York.
That's right.
A lot of people don't even know what the United Nations is. That's when every country in the
right.
world
That's right.
comes
in the
together.
world.
That's right.
And have their meetings.
That's right.
And it's sacred land because right there because you can't arrest just anybody
No.
in the United Nations.
New York City.
You know they have diplomatic immunity.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And diplomatic immunity means that
Yes.
the laws in this country don't
No,
they
that
don't go by you.
supersedes all of it.
Exactly.
That's
And that's what human rights is all about.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Human
yes.
rights.
It should. Go ahead.
One
Yes.
thing I wanted to say, I understand getting the criminals that coming from other places, getting them out of here, pedophiles and stuff like that.
Say that again. What's that word? Pedophiles.
Pedophiles and the rapists and all this, you know, the things that the stigma that people have.
Yes.
That come from other countries. But what breaks my heart is to see your own go after your own.
Ooh.
You understand?
Yeah.
For some money.
And
Breaking
that's
up-
what it's
you-
for.
You breaking up a community. You breaking up
Yeah.
families. You know, these people put money into this community. They shop here. They open businesses here. They work here. They cut grass here. You know, we work together here. And you breaking up families. For what, man?
Yep.
Because not everybody is what you say they are.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
and it's what they think about not just the Hispanic community, the black community.
Black community.
They
Yes.
think about us the same way.
Yes.
You know, one person do something, no, it's everybody. No,
Yes.
it's not, man. It's not.
Well,
Never
I'm
was
glad
that
you
way.
mentioned
You know what, Julio? The thing of it is this here is that people talk and they say that, you know, our country has grown and, you know, we've gotten better. You know, it's like, I don't know. I just don't know. You know, this president has brought out the truth in a lot of people.
Well, not just him. Not just him.
Yes.
Excuse me. Not just him. Social media has opened a lot of gates, man.
Yes.
Not and this before him.
Yes.
He's just taking advantage of social media and the outlets that we have, and you see a lot more of it. But he's actually the face.
Yes.
He's the fuel.
Yes.
He's the fuel to the fire,
Yep.
man. You know,
But, you know, and at the same time, you're exactly right. But things, this Constitution, it's not working.
no.
No, it
If
ain't.
it's not working, then
Well-
what you do? You have to change it.
What is the
You gotta
Constitution?
change.
The Constitution is
I'm
supposed
just-
to be your right.
Right. Be your right.
It's being equal.
Yeah. Being equal.
But to us as a people, it's not.
How you gonna make laws and you break
Break
laws?
them.
You know what I mean? Now you have our strongest ally, our neighbor,
Don't like
is
that.
our enemy now.
Yes.
And then now we're gonna feel it when we can't get anything out of Canada.
Yeah.
Canada now.
He don't care, man.
He don't care, man.
He don't
And now
care.
you got 300,000 pounds of beef from somewhere. And what about the farmers that are here? What about the workers that are here?
He don't care.
And what about those people?
But you know what, Julia, what's so crazy about you said that, and I'm glad you brought it up about the beef. is because
it's out of control.
So many other countries have rejected that beef coming from that place that we're getting it from because of the poisons and the toxins that are in it. They rejected it. And here this dude made a deal and is bringing it in.
Well, you know what, too? I don't believe, I can't really believe in that as well as far as where he's getting that meat from, because the other day he wouldn't say where he was getting that meat from. I heard he was, for about a couple years now, they've been killing wild horses. They've been rounding up wild horses.
Yes, they have.
And they've been killing wild horses.
I saw that also.
And he's been invested into that.
Yep.
We're probably eating wild horse, man.
Well, I'm glad.
Knowing him, let's think about it.
Anything. Well, he accused the Haitian community of eating the cats and dogs. So.
I'm one that don't eat meat, and a lot of youth ask me, why you don't eat meat? How you survive without eating meat? Well, I ask everybody this question. All these animals and all these people, we've been eating meat that long, especially chicken. Shouldn't we have ran out of them by now?
Yeah.
So if we didn't run out of them, they're putting something in them so they can multiply quicker. So you putting it into your your system.
Listen, you know what's so funny is I was talking to my wife the other day, and I'm like, all you see now is oxtails. You know, everybody's eating oxtails. I'm like, what are they doing? Are these oxes regrowing these tails? Like, what happened? I mean, you can't. You have to.
Well, they already found out they using kangaroo tails.
See that?
That was a while back. When I was at the shop,
they using kangaroo. Ain't no oxtails that long for you to get.
And it's not that many.
But you can get a long kangaroo tail.
Wow.
That's crazy.
When I was at the shop, we had this discussion a while back. We were eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. We were eating KFC, and somebody said, "You know, that's lab meat." I said, "No." So I Googled it, and they said, and it came up. Is meat that's made in the lab. They just genetically modified. What's what they
just
call
like a lot of the beef right now they're doing that. Yes.
Yeah, but all this happened for a reason, because they have to get us back to the natural way of doing things.
A natural way.
You know what
That's
I mean?
right. There you go.
Growing our own food.
Growing our own stuff.
Well, that's why
raising our own, animals, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you know where it comes from. You know what's being fed.
It's yours. That's right.
No, but what I was going to say to y'all is, like, all those be good ideas, but we do got to understand that they've been attacked, all them ideas. They've been attacked, all this. They own the seas. They own the black farmers. They've been attacking these people. So it's like, they know who to attack. You brought up J. Edgar Hoover. He had an FBI director in 1950.
That's really
Watch us.
Don't let them come together.
That was 76 years ago. So how far you think they got now? Not saying like it's frivolous, but it's like,
it's serious. It's serious. And you know
they're more advanced now.
You know what's so funny is I talk to you all the time, and I talk to all of y'all, but I remember growing up here and watching our fruit and everything grow wild. Like, we had peaches, apples, everything growing here in Pleasantville. I mean, you could do, in the summertime, you could walk the streets and eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But now it's gone. You don't see anything like that.
Nope.
But going back to what my brother just said about not eating meat, because I go in that direction sometimes. I can stop. I don't eat no meat, right? You got to understand is that the biggest animals in the world, the most strongest animals, are vegetarians. They don't eat meat. You know, elephants, gorillas, you look at them, you know, they're all...
Horse?
Yes, horses. You know, they don't eat any meat, man. It's the strongest animals in the world, man.
Fruits got proteins in them and things like that. But they don't teach us to... And then that's when they start modifying the fruits.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. They
attacking.
They know what they...
That's the enemy, man. You know, they what they call...
Grafted.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good
Here's what they did to the island of Puerto Rico when the United States invaded Puerto Rico. They destroyed all the sugar cane plantations. They destroyed all the coffee. Anything that was being grown and natural, and that was a resource to the island and resource to the people of the island, they got rid of. So they made everybody on the island dependent. That's why the island's in the condition that it is. How do you not have water and you're surrounded by water?
Come on, man.
You're surrounded by water.
And have you, anybody that hasn't been there, when you go to Puerto Rico, they have everything.
Everything.
I mean, the freshest water. You know, waterfalls. Like, me and my wife were amazed when we were there, man.
But
you know,
how you don't have water to bathe, water to drink?
You
Well,
wanna know why?
Water to wash clothes,
You
none
wanna
of
know
that.
why? They're saying that for people that depend on the government.
Yeah.
But if you know how to self-sustain yourself, and you know how to collect rain, or you know how to go to that waterfall and make electricity or something like that, you wouldn't go through that.
They don't want that.
But they taught people
They don't
not
want-
to even know about
They've
that.
made everybody dependent.
Well, everybody got to wake up, and
Yes.
we're telling them now. This is the final call.
That's
because
right.
The reason we're saying is that we're property and been property since we've been here.
Yeah.
But so what happens when you don't need the property no more? You get robots. You get AI.
No,
It's real.
Cause look, I was
So
gonna
you don't
say-
need us no more.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
about y'all fruit thing, because Mr. Tony was
There
talking
he
about.
is.
He was talking about picking out fruit in the yard.
Yes.
I read that they signed a bill. I forgot what year it was, but it's the Clean Yard Act, where they stopped y'all from growing fruit in your yard. You have to have a license and all that, and they made you have clean yards. So that's why back in the day, it used to be everybody had their own garden. Everybody had this. No, they done made a law where your yard got to look pretty now. You can't have an ugly garden no more. You have to have a pretty mowed lawn that does nothing for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what they did.
Good.
It goes back to what he said, the AI. Pretty soon we're going to be replaced by robots. Listen to
Yeah,
this.
no ifs,
The
ands,
other
or buts.
day, there was a robot that ran faster than Usain Bolt.
Did you see that?
Yes.
And ran into the wall and couldn't stop.
And then there was one that was boxing. There was one that was
Wait.
boxing.
You think they are not already here now? They got warehouses that's running off, and they firing 50,000 people.
How old are you? How old are you?
39.
You 39, right? I'm 66, right? And you gonna agree with this here? All the cartoons that we watched back in the day, Jetsons, all of that stuff. All of
Flintstones, all of
come on, man. You seeing all of that stuff right now. You look at Will Smith, iRobot. You see that? This is just, hey, man, they don't pull anything, they don't put anything on TV in front of you unless they have an idea about it, unless it's happening. Unless it's happening. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pictures of them.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Cheatham. You got something to say before we? All right.
That's right.
Yes.
It's been in the makings for a long time, and what's happening is it's just catching up because a lot of people do not pay attention to the Simpsons.
Yes, yeah.
There you go.
Powers to be.
Yes.
Yes,
The
yes.
Simpsons.
Yes.
You have to pay attention to the
Powers to
Simpsons
be.
because a lot of people don't really want to say, I don't really listen to. But how do they know what Kamala Harris was on, exactly what she was going to have on? So the powers behind the scenes, they didn't want to orchestrate. Like right now, if you had that kind of power and money over the world forces, you can make things happen.
Yes.
And how do they tell you things and then all of a sudden it comes up?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then not only that, you remember Kobe Bryant?
Yeah, sure.
You see what they did with Kobe Bryant right before he died, right? Right? You see what he did?
Talk to me.
Already orchestrated. Go look on your phone. Helicopter crash. Nobody can tell you how you can die unless you're part of the powers that be.
Hey, man, it's just crazy because we've seen so many things. I mean, they tell us about UFOs, you know, that wasn't true. And it was obvious that, you know, that was part of us with these cell phones. And look how technology advanced so quick. You went from putting a quarter and first a dime into the machine in order to make a phone call out in the street.
Taking me back.
Around now with a cell phone.
You know, you can take me back there, man. Please take me back there, you know what I mean? Because, listen, they like, you know, just having these cell phones, you know, it's making our young folks, man, and he making us, you know, I'm gonna say it's dumb.
Dumb.
I remember I used to remember 20 phone. I used to have to remember your number.
Yes. And
Like you
it
said,
was easy.
and it was easy. I remember. I got a call.
Yeah.
So you know,
They said they released this stuff because
Dumb us down.
Yeah.
overload of
That's right.
information end up making you dumber too.
Yes.
Because you be learning so much and got so much in your brain, you don't even know what to do with the day. You done wasted 24 hours thinking you learning everything.
yeah, but
Stuck in that phone.
yeah, but being silent is ignorance, bro. You know, you ain't talking to your pop, you ain't talking to your mom, you ain't talking to your father. You just talking to a phone. You know what I mean?
You don't even know your personality.
That is
Exactly.
Like, you don't even know who you are.
Young man, you got it.
That has taken away the communication skills from
It
these
has.
youth.
It has.
These kids don't know how to say hi. They don't know how to say excuse me. I deal craps in a casino. I'm a craps dealer. So you had a bunch of young people learning how to deal craps, but that's a game that's verbal. It's very verbal.
Right.
So you know you have to repeat and you have to speak. Have conversations and repeat everything.
That's right.
Repeat
And
the
they don't
best,
know
repeat
how.
the numbers. Oh, I don't want to talk. Why? Why? Nobody wants to talk. My nephew sitting on the couch with his girlfriend. I walk
They
in the house
texting
and my-
back and forth?
with each other, and I'm saying, "Hey, who you talking to?" "Oh, I'm texting her." I said, "You don't know how to have a conversation with her, man?"
No,
You're
but
sitting right
some
next to
people
her,
can
man.
only talk better through the text now. They scared of
that's the
face-to-face
But
conversation.
you know what's even
Communication
worse
skills, man.
is that when you see some of these guys that have been walking around with their heads down with these phones, and you can see their neck and their displacement of no, you see the displacement of their bodies, man.
No,
it's really
no, but it's
physically.
You get a hunchback from sitting.
Come
in front of
on,
the
bro.
computer all
Come
day.
on, man. It's you know.
It's true.
Real quickly,
Right.
if you was feeling some kind of way, a little distraught or upset about something, where would your head level be? Where would your head level be?
That's right. I hear you.
They say, man,
Pick
Pick
your
your
head
head
up.
up. Pick your
That's
head
the
up.
practice that have us looking down. That's why people are crashing.
Yep.
They're walking. Did you
Yeah.
see the lady?
Come on, man.
That's good
Falling in the
You
holes.
see the lady in the
Yes.
mall, walking in the mall?
Yes,
Oh,
right in the water.
Yep, right in the water.
You sitting there?
Yes.
So what happens is that we are highly distracted now.
Yeah.
So when you're highly distracted, you're not in a learning state of being, a learning state
State
of mind.
yes.
Because right now, you talk the kids. It was a test. They hit us with real quickly. They hit us with Centipede first,
Right.
and then Pac-Man.
Then Pac-Man.
Right.
Okay.
Had you up there,
Right.
the kids. I said,
Loved it.
Because his mother on a big flat screen TV. She's telling, "Come on, eat now." It was on that game.
Ooh.
Game.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
I've
also
seen
the
it. I've
game
seen it.
in your room. I was telling my youth that I work with that you're practicing for a sale.
Yeah.
You don't even know it.
Yeah. There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff, Chief.
Almost like being trained to be a robot.
Right.
But once
That's
you
true.
go in there,
That's
everything is already set up the same way. The school and the jail is set up the same exact way.
Well,
It's
here's
like
what's crazy. These kids have these conditions now that I never heard of. Like, what is cyberbullying? Like, what is somebody bullying? I remember going to school because I come from humble beginnings
Right,
myself. You know, so I remember going to school from beginning of the school year with sneakers from J.J. Newberry. And going to Massachusetts Avenue School and being made fun of.
Right.
That's bullying.
Right,
You know, you
right.
go out of school, you get punched in the face for wearing the wrong pair of sneakers,
Yes,
stuff like that.
yes.
Right.
But somebody calls you name
Cyberbullying.
on the internet, and then you go and you want to go kill yourself because you don't know how to handle that. Something's wrong with this society, man.
And it's the parents not teaching the kids
And it's
enough,
not
man.
having-
Not
and it's not-
conversations,
yeah,
bro.
it's not communicating with
And
your parents.
that's why, you know,
Coming from.
coming
That's
together
soft,
and,
man.
and eating together is so
That's
key.
right.
Yes.
Because a family that eats together and prays together stays together.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yes.
And if you don't lose that, you don't lose family.
Right.
It's so funny you say that. I got my grandsons with me, right? And this joker would come down, you know, I see him with his phone in his hand. I'm like, yo, man, don't ever come to this table again with that phone no
There
more.
you go.
You know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
There you go.
You don't do that. You come down, you eat my food, you leave that phone upstairs.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
You go
Yeah.
out to a restaurant, you go to a restaurant.
Come
you
on,
got a
bro.
Table full of kids,
And they're
everybody
all
got their
on
phone, and all you hear all kinds
Well,
of
let me
noise.
get
It's
some
like,
breaking
really
news. I went to an orientation the other day at Atlantic City High School. This will be the first year they're taking the
they
phones.
locking their phones up.
Yes.
And,
Good
and, I
kid.
tell you, and even on the bus,
That's good
Yep.
stuff.
no phone.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So, I mean,
Maybe they
that,
don't
have some
mine-
kids jumping off the
my-
roof.
Maybe they can
Well, not going to
communicate.
school. They're going to have a dropout rate like we never seen.
Maybe they can communicate now. You know
But
what
they
I
need to
mean?
be proactive, and
Yeah,
the
they-
parents play a major role
Yes,
in making
yes.
sure that happens. Because
Yes.
who's paying the phone bill?
Yes.
That's
I'm
right.
concerned about economics. I'm big on economics.
Okay.
Everybody know me. I teach financial classes.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from, projects, not
Get closer to the mic, man, so we can, the audience can hear you.
Not having anything, coming up, on a struggle, and then once you understood the concept of money,
That's right.
economics, investing, the problem now is, I came up off of Garwood Mills with Bobos.
Yes, sir.
It's $1.99.
Woolworth.
They make your feet feel fine.
And
Bobos,
Woolco.
you sing the song, right?
Yes.
So what they actually did, tricking the kids, I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, coming up, that I thought 2 + 2 = 4.
That's right. That's right.
I did. I mean, am I wrong?
What is it now? What
Am I
is it
wrong?
now? But what is it
I
now?
believe they got 2 + 2 = 350. Okay, I'm gonna take you somewhere.
Yeah.
They have 2 + 2
Right.
causing 175.
Mm-hmm.
2 + 2 cause I saw one where pair of sneakers, $13.45.
That's right.
So the family, I'm gonna send you this thing that I have. It's a little letter about what it means to be poor and have all this stuff, privilege. I'm talking on the north side.
Right.
They're messing the kids up. I've read every financial book out there, and it is more important, right, to play the part and play dumb.
Yeah. Wow.
So I need a logo. Rich people shirt, regular shirt, nothing on it.
Right.
Yep.
Mine's got to say Puma Nike.
Yep.
You spend all this money,
Yep.
and half of them you ask Nike just means Greek goddess. That's really all it means. But they're teaching the kids to have the best
Superficial.
clothes on and can't read.
Superficial.
Can't read. Don't
Yep.
understand economics.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, once you understand why are they
They
buying?
created that with
why are they
how to
buying
sell
babies?
to a Negro.
Why?
Yes.
They
Why
knew that
are
if we wanted what they had.
Yes.
Why are they
We'd
buying
pay
their
top
kids
dollar.
Baby Gap? What's the other one Kimura had? What's that? Whatever.
Baby
Baby
Fat.
Fat. Why?
Yep.
Why? The baby's
Yep.
gonna grow every week. The baby's growing.
And what's bad is that our people do those things and then they jack the prices up. All right, so listen, y'all, we getting ready to wind down a little bit. Let's go into the tournament. Miguel, let you talk about that. Julio, you can do that first with baseball so that we can move around. Get
Yeah,
out.
real quick. We had a championship last night in Atlantic City, and thanks to the city of Atlantic City for hosting an awesome league that they
That's
had
beautiful.
here this year.
Right.
Noonie Quick and ran the league, ran the recreational department in Atlantic City, did a phenomenal job. We lost to Wonder Bar last night. What was awesome about the whole thing?
Phone call, y'all.
No.
That's
What made the whole thing awesome, the whole league, was how the community came out.
facts, yo.
It was
What
very,
y'all did for him, Gabi, was fire.
yes.
And it's so crazy that Pleasantville, we can't do that in Pleasantville where he's from.
Yeah.
It was fire with the
Who's
kid
that?
got Gabi.
Oh, the kid that you,
Cancer.
yes,
The close friend
cancer,
in
yes,
Pleasantville, and he got cancer.
yes.
And they did a big, for real, they showed him hella love.
But that shows you again, and it
Why
goes.
can't we do that?
Yeah, it shows you again how we all can come together and do something productive, man.
Yes.
And do something nice.
Yes.
And I'm sure that this event on this weekend is going to be tremendous
Yes.
as well.
Right.
Everybody coming together, and a lot of people are going to come out.
That's good. Well, I
Thank
know
you.
Miguel is doing his part.
That's right.
Me and Strick's going to take care of all of the basketball stuff along
right.
with Miguel. Steve's going to be there. Mr. Cheatham's going to be there. And we're just looking forward to this, man. And we're
Right.
looking forward to what's going to transpire from this, what's going to expand from this. Because I know me and Mr. Strickland was talking about now starting training our kids again as far as with basketball, but also with our basketball training, we're going to try to educate our kids as long as y'all are there. Then that way we could teach them manners and how to handle themselves and make it so that when they do get better and they get a scholarship, they know how to handle themselves when they go to college.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And
Because it's
teach
very
them to
important.
stay in Pleasantville, trained in Pleasantville, stay in Pleasantville so you can have some college athletes and NBA kids that came from Pleasantville.
So we're going to, I can see this, Buckets Not Bullets, but, it's our CAM Foundation and the Justice Project at Mount Zion. I look forward to what comes from this, what grows, how we make this thing grow.
That's right.
I look at the group of us right now, man. If we stick together and we do this thing, there's no way that we can go wrong, man. We can't, We don't have everybody present in this room, but we got our ladies out there waiting
That's
for
right.
us,
That's right.
who's going to be making sure that things are done correctly. So, that's the big part, man. All of us sticking together. So everyone, please come out. Buckets Not Bullets on Saturday.
That's
It
right.
looks like the weather's going to hold up. We're looking forward to all the children being out there. All the seniors come out so that, we can show you some love and have our youth
Come on
make
out.
sure they take care of our seniors so
Enjoy
that we can start
yourself.
teaching them how to handle
And one
themselves.
thing that's good about 3-on-3 basketball, it's going to be throwing down double Dutch tournament.
That's right.
And
Ice Cube.
softball tournament.
Yes.
And this is the beginning of others.
That's right.
So
everything
this
is still on.
And this August the 29th.
Okay.
This is the rain date.
Right, that's right.
And it's going to start at 10 o'clock a.m. and it's going to be at Park Avenue, Marks Manning Complex,
Okay.
1100 Lincoln Avenue.
Come on.
For more information, 609-553-7691 or 609-816-9896. And just be there
Just
and
be
be
there.
part of the community.
Yes.
And with that, just one other thing, again, the March on Washington is tomorrow.
Yes.
63 years of us coming together as a people.
You gonna be ready Saturday when you get back, man?
Yeah. I'm fired up coming back from Houston. But anybody else want to get on the bus? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Try to be there at 3:30 if you ain't signed up yet.
Yes.
So that's 640-247-9289, and we're leaving at 4:30 in the morning. The bus is going to leave at 4:30. So we're there at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
If you get there at 4:30, you late.
Yes.
Wow. And so we're just telling everybody to come out. It's free, and we're gonna have a good time.
All right. So introduce your little man over here. Yo, what's your name?
Jaden.
What's your name? Jaden? How you doing, Jaden? You all right? All right, Jaden been quiet the whole time. Make him talk. Make him say something. All right, well, listen, we want to thank everybody for listening.
That's right.
And we look forward to Saturday, and we'll see you guys next week. Good luck and God bless.
God bless.
History isn't just something you read about. It's something you can experience. Join the National Action Network of South Jersey on Friday, August 28th, 2026, as we travel to Washington, D.C. to commemorate the 63rd anniversary of the March on Washington. Whether you're passionate about civil rights, eager to learn more about our nation's history, or simply looking for a meaningful trip with family and friends, this is your opportunity to be part of something powerful and purposeful. Our comfortable motor coach departs from the Soldier's Home, located at 1510 Adriatic Avenue in Atlantic City at 4:30 a.m. And don't worry, refreshments will be served along the way. Come learn, be inspired, support your community, honor the past, inspire the present, and help build the future. For more information, you can text, call, or leave a message at 640-247-9289. That's 640-247-9289. The National Action Network of South Jersey's Trip